I gave up on God because he disappointed me. And then I was like, okay, you know what, fine, I'll never ask for anything superficial again. Just give me my man. Some of the things that I was praying for, I'm just like, thank God that, oh gosh, thank God I did not get my prayers answered. Hey friends, my name is Jemima if you are new here, and welcome to today's video. This is the first promotional video for my new book. I self-published IC with Amazon on November 9th, and this book is the second part in the series of I Am Needy. The first book I released on March 9th was Needy. Fall in love with someone who does not love you. On Wednesday at 3 p.m, I decided I was going to break it off with you. Yes, I will be here. I will show it. This is me, loving you. Needy, my breakup song, was the first time I ever shared my poetry in a full collection, and I had so much fun with that. It was such a great experience. I loved reading it out. I loved talking about
It's a micro, and the brackets around the secret is basically about how it's not so secret. I am not subtle. If I like you, you will know. I can't hide it. I am a hopeless romantic. It's from the movies, it's from the dramas, it's from the books. My head lives in fantasy land, and I want non-stop romance, if I'm honest.
It was very challenging. It was very difficult at certain times, but I'm so happy with Needy. As imperfect as it was, this has always been the dream of mine, to just write and share books. IC was not really planned. The next book I wanted to release is actually another poetry collection, and it's called I Will Say It Like This. It is still coming out. However, after Needy and this whole process, a lot of things have been happening. Yeah, it's been very challenging, and I was at a point where I needed some strength. I needed to figure out how I can go forward because I was feeling very stuck. The best way to go forward sometimes is just to look back and see what's working and see what's not working. And so on my 25th birthday, I said I was going to be doing some reflecting. I've already been doing some reflecting, and this is what IC is about. Over the last few months, I've put together some pieces I wrote about 2 years ago before I started my self-publishing journey for Needy. And I've also included some things I wrote this year. Let me read you guys the first poem that comes up, which is called About the Girl You Left Behind. And so that is on page 6, About the Girl You Left Behind. I gave up on God because he allowed you to leave me. He did not soften your heart to get you to love me. I gave up on God because he disappointed me. After I promised to never ask for anything, he still did not deliver. Fulfill my heart's desire, like he said in his word. I gave up on God because I realized he does not hear me. How I have to do everything alone and how tired I was getting. I told God all this and you still left me. One of the things that I struggled with going through my heartbreak was just, faith and like my relationship with God. When you want something and, you pray about it, you kind of expect it to happen. You're just like, oh, this is something I want, But then for me, it got to a point where, because I was in this situation for way too long, I was just like really confused because why is this not working out? And then I started to blame God for it not working out. And so yeah, that was something that I kind of look back now, like I've grown now. I have to separate what I want from what God wants from me. Because when I start having these things that I want not come, I start thinking that, oh, like God's not doing good for me. He's not listening to me. He's not hearing my prayers and stuff like that. And it might not be what's best for me. And it's not necessarily what he has promised me. It's what I want. It's literally sometimes some people go to God with, like a list of things they want him to do. And it's like, okay, yeah, God, like sign off with this, like he's some genie. And he's not. I had to really mature and learn about my relationship with God. I was like, oh, this is not like a superficial thing. This is like, I want a partner. I was justifying myself, and I was like, okay, you know what, fine, I'll never ask for anything superficial again. Just give me my man. Where he at, right? Yeah, and so I just had to like mature and learn more about like God's timing and understanding the difference between my heart's desires and him, wanting to do the things that will make me happy. However, it has to like align with my purpose. Like if this person is not for me, why would God let the person like me? Like I'm not gonna be blaming God for letting someone who doesn't treat me well leave. I look back and I'm just like, make it make sense. Why was I so upset? The person did not want to stay until they left. Okay, goodbye. Why was I crying over someone who didn't want to invest their time with me? And it's just like a whole maturity thing for me anyway. And I had to learn that I have to believe in my purpose and believe that what is meant for me, like what is mine, will be mine, and it will come, and it won't be anything like forced and me like changing who I am and begging and crying and trying to get someone to stay. I won't have to do any of that. I have no desire to do any of that and like try to change someone's feelings about me. And so a couple years ago, that's literally what I thought love was. It's like, you know, I had to suffer, I had to beg and cry. But now I'm like, you know what, if it does not align with my purpose, I know it will not work out. Even just the fact that a year ago, what are some of the things that I was praying for, I'm just like, thank God that, oh gosh, thank God I did not get my prayers answered. And it's for those, only for those who read it, you'll find out what happened. But the person who knew about this guy, he messaged me recently, literally after my 25th birthday. And I'm not gonna go into it because you have to get the book to read what happened. But just know that I didn't message back. I'm grown, I've matured, but you know, it did make me feel some emotional stuff. But if you want to know like how it happened and how like random it was, yeah, read this book. It's really funny. That whole word purpose is a lovely word, but can be quite tricky because the thing that is purpose can be lonely. If something's not gonna add value to me, I'm not gonna have it. And like, I know I'm so protected, like my boundary lines are so protected. That's why certain people ghost me after a while, because like I know now, like I see it now. I struggled at first understanding why would someone just ghost me. But now looking back, I see, oh, okay, we weren't heading in the same direction anyway. And so it's all good. It was hard, difficult, but it's all good now. Like, I understand that. I try not to do that too much with my relationship with God anymore. And I am still working on that. And also try not to be on that opposite end where I don't even ask God for anything anymore. And I'm just like, I'm gonna do it myself. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure that all out. And that is one thing I do want to share more about in the future. Just like my relationship with and like having faith, because I don't talk about that often. It's not something that I talk about, but some of my poems I do mention God a lot because that is the person that I'd be ranting to. It was hard like putting a distance between me and like my relationship with God because of someone, and like I don't want to fall into that trap again, and just like understand that God cares about me, He's protected me, and those who are for me will be here. Like if it's mine, it'll be here. Let's not stress about that. And so this is kind of like a 2-year period of my life, what I'm able and comfortable with sharing with you guys, and just the stages of adulting and some of the things that I went through. This whole book is about clarity, and one of the things that I talk about is feeling that there was something wrong with me and that I was this huge problem. It wasn't until I started this process with Needy, and also now looking back and writing, I see it helps me see the bigger picture, because I can get so focused on all the things that are not working and not look at the things to be grateful for, honestly. So yeah, let me read out what the blurb actually says. I start with a excerpt called Disclosure 14. It might seem small, others might not even see it at all. There is pain tangibly heavy over me, suffocating me. I See is the book after Needy. I liked who I was becoming, but there were challenges trying to cloud my vision. In an attempt to combat the negative, I wrote this book to revive my soul. I needed a reminder that if I could do it before, I could do it again. I was able to embrace my journey, as imperfect as it is, and believe there is freedom if I see it. And so on the front cover, it literally says after Needy. It's hard to see because this book literally blends in with my wall. It's such a different like contrast, where with Needy I was just like, yeah, we're gonna go colorful purple, and with this I'm like, yeah, let me be me. Let's just be grey. I love purple to look at, but this is like my mood. And so we start with the contents page. It includes some poetry, some disclosures, and some chapters where I talk about, you know, my experiences and what happened to me over the last 2 years. I name these pieces disclosures because sometimes they're just diary entries, sometimes they're poems, but the reason why they are called disclosure is because I'm kind of scared about sharing some of these things. But at the same time, I guess it was good for me to reveal this, because I try to keep this image of I don't like people to see that I'm hurting, that I'm struggling, whereas this last year I've definitely been like, yep, trying to just be more honest about what is going on with me, because bottling it all in, I just explode at random periods, and I don't understand why I like I keep sinking down into my moods because I'm not able to express. And so it's not about me sharing my business with everyone. I am sharing this with those who want to connect with me. And if you want to read it, I'm sharing this in hopes that others can read this, and if they're struggling with the same thing, I know they're not alone, or if they're not, it can just be perspective. And then I have the chapters where I go in depth with what has happened. And so one of the first chapters is called Something I Just Can't See It, and this is where I talk about feeling that I'm a problem and there's something wrong with me and I'm so broken. And then we end it with one of the chapters being called I See, and which is literally about having clarity. And that was the word I made for myself this year. I wanted clarity. 2022 was about clarity, and reaching clarity was a struggle. And one of the main struggles was my eyes. I had so many problems with my eyes this year that I could not believe it. And there was even some points when I had my eye infection, I was like, am I gonna lose like my vision? I've never had this before. Why was my eyes reacting this badly? And I also talk about my journey as a creator in terms of like my writing and in terms of like making videos. Needy is very much centered about a girl being heartbroken over a guy. And with this, we talk about that as well, but that's not like the main focus fully. It is just about literally me adulting and some of the stages of it as much as I can, but relating to Needy and why Needy was so important for me, and that whole journey and that whole process and healing my heart after that heartbreak was so important. So that's why it's called I See After Needy. So I've owned up to that I am needy. I am still, going through that, but I'm definitely not the girl in, like, I'm not her anymore. Like, I wrote Needy when I was like 20, 21, when I was with this person, and the growth, I can see it now. Like, I'm 25. I am looking forward to sharing with you guys some more of my story and just being quite direct about it, because when it comes to poetry, sometimes it's, you can read it between the lines, you can kind of guess, and it's not until I say this is it, then you can say, okay, that is what happened. And that is what I do with I See. I'm like, this is what happened from my perspective, from the way things were going, sharing how that was very important for me to acknowledge and see, so that I can grow and be closer to the woman that, I aspire to be. And I am very much on my journey. I am becoming, and I do love that word, becoming. Who knows, maybe one day I might feel like I finally arrived, but I definitely do feel like I don't mind taking my time and learning new things slowly, and knowing that eventually things will fall into place, and I don't need to be so hard on myself. And that was one thing that, oh gosh, I am so hard on myself sometimes. I'm so mean to myself, and I'm looking back and remembering, for example, just how to say good things, kind words to myself, and not put myself down when something doesn't go as planned, and just have more understanding for my situation and understanding for growth, and be happy about, hey, you know what? I'm not where I used to be, but I know that the journey ahead, there is still more. Like, the best is yet to come. And I've been telling everyone that if you got a birthday message from me recently this year, you probably had that in the message, the best is yet to come, because that's just what I've been really trying to focus on and also share with others. My book, I See After Needy, is available on Amazon. You can grab yourself a copy if you want to support me on my journey. If you don't already have Needy, my breakup song, you can grab that too, because this is part of the series of I Am Needy. I recommend you do grab yourself Needy, my breakup song first, and then grab I See, or you can buy them both together at the same time if you just want to know everything about me. Is there another part coming up in I Am Needy? No, I'm definitely closing the chapter officially. I've said it all with I See. My next poetry collection will be something different. So if you do want to learn a bit more about my I Am Needy journey, this is the part 1. Needy in part 2, I See, where we've got some more deep dives in it. If you haven't already, make sure to watch my past poetry readings from Needy, my breakup song. I share some poems with you guys and also talk about, some of these poems and some of the growth I was doing over that. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification so you know when these videos for I See will come out. I am going to try to experiment a little bit more with these promotional videos. I have a few different things planned, but I did just want to come on here and let you know that the book is out and there is some things that I want to share with you guys. And I kind of want to show you guys more of who I am and who I am becoming. And it means, you know, taking off the mask and of pretending that everything is fine. And yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing that and sharing my story in a creative way. So yeah, check out some of my other videos on here as well. I've got skincare, vlogs, bookish, a lot of different content because I do have a niche. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Ring in the notification bell so you know when I post, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.